Okay. How's everybody? I hope everybody's okay. I had a discussion in text about genealogies, and I figured I'd go through some of it, as genealogies are evidence of Noah and of creation. They're pretty compelling evidence. Genealogy, after all, they're backed up with DNA and everything, so they're real genealogies, and they go back in real time in history, back into ancient history, back into the so-called mythological gods and beyond, because Abraham was born before Zeus, and of course Zeus was born before Thor and them, and but Abraham was a Sumerian from a Sumerian city called Ur, where they dug up idols that probably Abraham's father made, or at least probably knew who made them if he didn't make them himself, because he was the idol maker in the city of Ur. Abraham's father was. Of course, you have this story where he smashed his idol's father, and he put the he put the hammer in the hands of the biggest idol. And when his father came and asked him, "Well, what'd you smash all the idols for?" Abraham said, "Look, he did it. The one that has the hammer in his hand did it." Of course, making fun of the idolatry. Of course, Of course, the statue with a hammer in his hand didn't do it. That's the whole point of the thing. Here you are, you're giving glory to mindless matter, mindless objects, instead of glory to God. And that's the whole point of idolatry. I had a friend called Moish Rosen who said mankind flows to idolatry. Let's see. No, you have nothing to offer. Okay. I just offered to have a live discussion with somebody who was arguing with me in the thread that I'm talking about, that I want to do live stream on. And he just refused to debate me or have a discussion with me in a live stream, which is kind of normal. Is they're willing to attack you in a thread, but they're not willing to put their name and face out there, to back up, They don't want to put their money where their mouth is. I mean, their mouth where the money is. So, yeah, the money where the mouth is. They don't want to back up their position, be exposed. They just want to hit and run is what they want to do, basically. And I shouldn't even pay attention to them. I shouldn't even bother talking to them. But, as believers, we have to care about everyone. And so they take advantage of it, I guess. Anyway, we're having fun today. Genealogies prove creation. They prove the global flood. They prove creation. And I intend to demonstrate that right now. We do a little screen share here. And we will go to the discussion here that we're having. Okay. It was a Standing for Truth versus Think Club debate on, I guess, modern day debate. And so I posted a comment. It got some attention. It said, genealogies are the evidence of Noah. Our genealogies double until about 50 or 60 generations, when the reverse begins to happen. I got two thumbs up, and I got a response here. Do you have any citation for that claim? I have actual genealogies. So I responded to Jeremy Mendoza. He's not an actual sock account. I don't think he's around. I guess somewhat. But so I responded to Jeremy Mendoza and said, we have actual genealogies going all the way back to Noah and to Adam and Eve. And then I posted a genealogy, one genealogy. There we go. If you will notice, or I don't know if you can see it or not. Wait a minute. Is this sharing? Did I share? Yeah, I guess I shared. All right. Because sometimes I'm talking away, talking about something, and it's not even shared. So, if you're wearing earphones, pardon me. Part of my actual genealogy. This is my actual genealogy. My genealogy. I won't say what the people leading it up are. I don't want to dox myself, but in about 5 or 6 generations back, or I don't know how many it is, but Alexander McRae. Yes, and yes, I do have McRae's in my genealogy. I don't know what kind of relation it is to Steve McRae, but I do have McRae's in my genealogy because, well, I'm Scotch Irish. So here we go. We're following the genealogies. Of course, these are real people in real time with real records and real historical genealogies of real people that we are all related to, basically. And of course, if you're Scotch, Irish, or English, you would probably be my cousins. That's the way genealogies work. So we're going back in time. Lady Stuart Isabel Stuart, Lady Elizabeth Stuart, Edward the Third, King of England. Of course, this is how we know what the genealogies are when our own genealogy ties in with the royal line. So when it ties into a royal line, then they got all the records and all the genealogies, and they're all connected because they were all intermarrying. Of course, you can see France here. Isabella of France, Queen Consort of England. Philippe the Fourth, Le Bel Roi de France, his mother. That's Philippe. No, that's not his mother. This is when you're reading it. It's not this one. It's this one, her father. Anyway, it's kind of confusing here with his mother. It's not his mother. It's Philippe is the father. Anyway, it's kind of confusing. Yeah, Philippe is the father of Isabel Capet, Queen Consort of France. Okay. So, and she is the mother of James I. So that's how that works, in case you get confused by that, because it is kind of confusing because it's backwards, actually. Somehow, wait a minute. Let me start here. Okay, so it's a person. What it is, it's a person before this, and it's a she. It's a female, and her father is Alexander McRae, and Alexander McRae's father is Agnes McRae. So it's not backwards. That's the way it goes. So it's Alexander McRae's father. Wait. Anyway, somehow. I don't know. But somehow it works. It's just kind of confusing. I can't even figure it out now. So her father. somebody, somebody was getting on me about this. Her father is Alexander McRae. His father, Agnes McRae McKenzie. Well, it could be a mistake, but it's something. His mother, so that's Agnes McRae, is a guy, is a male. No, it can't be because it's McKenzie. McRae McKenzie. So wait, this is backwards. It's upside down. It's everything else. His mother. This would be the daughter, Colin. Her father, Roderick Mackenzie. Anyway, so no, Roderick Mackenzie. Oh man, this is. I don't know. Maybe this is all messed up. I don't know. But it is an actual genealogy. I have to go back and look at it to figure it out. Anyway, let me see who's making fun of me here. Oh, got Romat. LOL, that debate's still going on. Yeah. The debate's still going on. Ha ha ha. Now he has appealed to Google saying that many people were alive and they didn't live at the same time. Right. Right. But they don't have the genealogical evidence. I'm going to take it off because it interferes with my what do you call it, my screen share. Okay. Yeah, they like to appeal to what they say is the evidence, but their evidence, quote unquote evidence, is not based on evidence. It's based on speculation and conjecture. And I'm talking about actual historical people and their genealogies, historical people of real people that we're all related to. So anyway, somehow this genealogy here is confusing, but it actually works somehow. It's always confusing. But somehow I think, wow. Anyways, it starts out with Alexander McRae, and his mother is Agnes McRae McKenzie. Her father is Colin McKenzie, first of Ken Craig. Okay. Anyways, it's like that somehow. Just kind of like ignore this here because this is very confusing. It's not in the right place for us to understand it at this time. Anyways, so this is the genealogy going back somehow, and it's going back, of course, between father and mother. And it's not going to go in this genealogy. It's not going to go to brother, sister. It's just going back to either the father or the mother. So, like I said, it goes to France, probably goes to Spain, goes to Armenia. It goes to, where else does it go to? Rome. Patronus Maximum of Rome, Emperor of Rome. Of course, this is all historical records, right? Historical records and genealogies. Known records, known genealogies of real people. Okay. Okay, so we're in Rome now. Sometimes they go through Arabia, sometimes they go through Arabic names and all that. So, anyways, yeah, of course it goes to Rome. It's a genealogy. It goes from me to Julius Caesar. So enough of that. Then I give another genealogy, again from Alexander McRae. And okay. Anyway, so I think what it is backwards. Somehow, wow. This Agnes McCrae McKenzie is Alexander McCrae's mother. Okay. This Mackenzie here, Colin first, is Agnes McCrae's father. You see how it works? It's just skip this arrow. This arrow is confusing. Colin McKenzie is her father. Roderick McKenzie is his father. Lady Elizabeth Stewart is his mother. John Stewart is her father. Sir, Sir John Stewart, first Earl of Atholl, is his father. So it goes like that. Just skip this arrow. Just forget this arrow. The arrow is confusing. So actually, it should be different, but I have to do a lot of work to straighten it out. But anyways, so here we go to France again. Maria de Montpellier, and it's going to Rome. John II the Good. I'm descended from John II the Good. Okay, a direct descendant, mind you. Okay, which means almost nothing, because everybody is. Okay, Ashdod the Iron. This is really interesting. I'm sure there's a lot of history that we're just flying over. Flavius Probus Consul Byzantium. Patronus Magnus Maximus Roman. Okay, let's go faster than this. This is too slow. I got king of whatever this is, Cetus, king of Armenia. There we go. So we're going through Armenia. The Hasmonean king. Oh, here we are. We're already Salomon Alexander, queen of Judea. Okay, now we're in the rabbis. Rabbi. And of course, this is father, son, mother. Oh, his brother. Oh, okay. This one here. Yeah, this one here is going through brothers. Okay, so brother. Anyway, we're already in Israel, of course. Hasmonean king. Judea, Alexandria, Judea, Armenia. So it goes from Armenia to Judea. Okay, so we're going through the rabbis' genealogies because they kept records. And here we go. Look at this. Joseph of Arimathea. Now, this guy that refused to debate me was saying that he's a mythical person. So his claim is that the rich man who buried Jesus is a mythical person. Anyway, of course, there's a whole big story about Anne of Arimathea and Joseph of Arimathea settling in England because he is a rich man or was a rich man because of his tin trade in England, and he settled in England, apparently, or something like that. So yeah, so here we have another genealogy. We're going through the same line, starting out with Alexander McCrae, because I have a McCrae in my genealogy. John the Good, Rome, Armenia. Oh, we're going back. No, Byzantine. We're going through, where we're going through King of Sedis again. Okay, we're going back through the rabbis again. Rabbis' genealogies. Zerubbabel. Now we're in the kings of Israel. Jeconiah, Jehoiakim, Zebediah, Pedaiah, Manasseh. Of course, these, when I read these names, if you're a Christian, these all are people that we know. Hephzibah, I guess we don't know that one too much. Isaiah the prophet. Ooh. I'm a direct descendant of Isaiah the prophet. Okay. Which, of course, is not a big deal because everyone is. Because we're all brothers and sisters, basically. We're all descended from the same people. Of course, this is my jungle jargon saying that these are real people that we are all related to. This is history of real people that we are all descended from. That's my jungle jargon saying, one of my jungle jargon sayings. Okay, Jehoash, 7th king of Judah. Ahaziah, Joram, Jehoshaphat, Asa, which was a good king. 3rd king of Judah, Abijah, son of Rehoboam, 2nd king of Judea. His father Rehoboam, son of Solomon, the 1st king of Judea. So that's my genealogy to King Solomon. So after posting my genealogy, this guy here, Brian Stevens, which he's not an actual sock puppet. He just doesn't want to show his face. One of those people. Are you suggesting that we have an unbroken chain back to Noah and even Adam? Please list out this unbroken chain of genealogies. And he says this after I give a genealogy to King Solomon. And everybody should know that, and the other one was to the relative of Jesus who buried Jesus, the rich man, Joseph of Arimathea. Who, and of course, this is all a whole history. This is not speculative. There's nothing mythical or speculative about this. This is a whole entire history. And if you look at the genealogy, Joseph of Arimathea is a relative of Jesus. And he was like an uncle, some kind of uncle or something. And he is the rich man that buried Jesus in a tomb that nobody had been laid in. So this is all real history of real people that we are all related to. And here he is asking, do you have an unbroken chain back to Noah? And if you're a Christian, you're doing the head slap, These people got the craziest questions. Listing a bunch of names isn't proof. You need scientific evidence. Otherwise, you have just conjecture and assumption. LOL. And here we are. We're doing the LOL because you must not know what actual history is. Anyways, so I respond to Brian Stevens, who asked a silly question. I said, I'm waiting for you to ask. Oh, I was waiting for you to ask. I went all the way back to King Solomon. Do you want the rest? You should know we have the genealogies from there back to Adam and Eve. Okay, so he keeps saying I don't answer the question. I said, we have DNA evidence of the 3 sons of Noah and their wives. That's the Y chromosome and the mtDNA. We can identify who is what. I am Semitic in both my mtDNA and my Y chromosome. So then I say silly atheists. Okay, so here he is again, Brian Stevens. He says, "Yes, I want I want to give your genealogies. I want you to give your genealogies all the way to back to Adam and the source of this information." Okay. The Bible, by the way, is the most accurate record in all of human history, as verified by archaeology and other written records all the way back, going all the way back. It's real history of real people that we are all descended from. Okay. So Ben Green, he's a little bit more sock puppet, says, "You realize that Agnes is the woman's name," and yeah, that was the problem with the arrow in the wrong place, or confusing arrow. Right, and I explained that. So that's okay. Okay, tell me that you want to see the genealogy from King Solomon. Okay, I'm asking Brian. Tell me that you want to see the genealogy from King Solomon to Adam and Eve. You should know there is a genealogy from Jesus to Adam. And then I'm responding to this guy here, Ben Green. And then Brian Stevens, do you understand that I gave a genealogy back to King Solomon? Just post just post the whole thing somewhere, thanks. So I said, so you don't know about the genealogy from Jesus to Adam. At least I'm enjoying myself, right? You should understand that there are so many genealogies through so many different people. Okay, in other words, what I'm saying is that there's all kinds of genealogies going every which way through all different kinds of people. I'm showing one line that happens to show a direct connection, but there's many, many, many other direct connections. I'm just showing one of them, probably the most direct possible. Okay, so here I go, showing another genealogy. Starts again with Duncan McRae. Oh, this is another Alexander McRae. Oh, I gave more information here. I don't want to dox myself. Alexander McRae and Agnes McRae McKenzie. Okay, so here we go. Through the King of France, Armenia, Rome, Judea, the rabbis, up all the way to Adam of Eden. So let me see what this is. Let me go back. Of course, this is not the biblical genealogy. Like I said, there's all kinds of genealogies going all every which way. These are genealogies that the rabbis have. So we have, say, Zephaniah. Do we know who Zephaniah is? Aram, Methuselah. We know who Methuselah is. Okay, this might not be a biblical genealogy, or it's going through the mother. It's probably going through a mother or something. That's what it's doing. A mother that's not mentioned in the Bible. Anyway, we got Methuselah, his mother Eliakim. Anyway, somehow, I mean, of course, there's a biblical genealogy which I post too. I have posted too. So we got Methuselah, Enoch, Braca, whoever this is, Enosh, Azura, whoever that is. Azura, his mother. Azura is the mother of Enoch. These are rabbis' genealogies. There's not biblical genealogy, in case you're wondering. And it goes to Adam of Eden, her father. Remember, it reads like this. Adam of Eden, her father. Okay. So that's a genealogy. Now here we go. Why am I messing this up? Of course, my mouse not working very good. So then I have the biblical genealogy. This is the biblical genealogy from King Solomon. Of course, the father of King Solomon is King David of Israel. His father Jesse, and Jesse, his father, the father of King David, and Obed and Boaz. And of course, we know the story of Boaz and Obed and Jesse and the anointing of King David of Israel. We know that story very well, of course. Salmon, Nashon, bin Aminadab. Okay, we're going to Judah. Okay, we got Judah is one of the sons of course, Jacob, who is Israel. His father Isaac, his father Abraham. And then we have the father, mother, father. Oh, the people going through. Oh, this is this is the rabbis. I think this is the rabbis again, the rabbis' genealogy again. So, but I think I will get to the biblical genealogy eventually. And yeah, the biblical genealogy is not like this. It's not confusing like this anyway. So then we have Adam of Eden. So then Ben Green comes back and says, "There's no possible way to read it. It makes no." Keep writing his and her and who's these people you're talking about. Agnes is not Alexander, which I explained. You can go back and check it out. King Solomon. Just don't read the arrow. What's this? Okay, so I'm going from King Solomon to Adam of Eden, which is okay. We got Shem, Arpachshad, Azura. Anyway, so this is still the rabbi's genealogy because it's the confusing style here. But anyways, from King Solomon to Adam of Eden. Okay, it looks like you started posting this 2 years ago on a video called Secrets of the Bible, the Fall of Jericho, Dr. Bryant Wood. When I said, oh, did you ever go to school? What did you learn? So I said that because I'm posting genealogies all the way back to Adam. Sometimes you have to be a little bit forceful. Okay, this way he asked me a question. I said, this what? Many topics. The question you claim. Okay, many topics. You claim the first lineage you gave came from, supposed to be Jenny.com. Where does the second come from? Okay. Says to Ben Green, keep looking, you might figure it out. That's the confusion of the genealogy. Rich man who buried Jesus is not fictional. I just gave you a genealogy to Joseph of Arimathea. That's to Ben Green. Question, you claim the first lineage you gave came from Jenny.com. Where does the second come from? I said, which second? I gave 5 more genealogies. Do you want the genealogy from the Bible of Jesus to Adam? Do you want a genealogy from me to Abraham? And Adam of Eden is my 116th great-grandfather. That's through one genealogy, and there's many, many, many genealogies, of course, many lines of genealogy from me to Adam. But in this particular line that I was looking at, it's Adam is my 116th great-grandfather. This is showing all the blood relatives between me and Adam, which is, sobering thing. These are blood relatives, 116 plus my grandfather and my father. 116 blood relatives plus my grandfather and my father, because these are great grandfathers. From me to Adam. Okay, so this is still the confusing genealogy right here. This is showing, what's this going to? This one is going to Adam Avine. Oh, so I did the whole thing. I did the whole entire genealogy from me. All the direct blood relatives between me and Adam. Of course, these blood relationships can be proven by autosomal DNA going back about 5 or 6 generations. Just by autosomal DNA, you can prove your great, 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 great grandfather by way of all your cousins that have your DNA in them. Okay, what record do you have? This is my question to Brian C. Stevens. After posting my genealogy from me to Adam of Eden, I'm saying, what record do you have? Nothing. Okay. Jesus, when he began his ministry, was about 36 years of age, being the son of, as was the supposed, of Joseph, the son of Heli. This is now the biblical genealogy between Jesus, who was a relative of Joseph of Arimathea, by the way, which means that Jesus is one of my relatives, my cousin. So this is the biblical genealogy. Okay. So Jesus, when he began his ministry, was about 30 years of age, being the son of, as was supposed, of Joseph. So it actually says that Jesus was the supposed son of Joseph. Okay, he's the son of Heli, Matthat, Levi, Melchi, Jonah, Joseph, Matthias, Amos, Nahum, Nagum, Matthias, Simeon, Joseph, Joda, Joan. These are all sons, of course. Sons, Zerubbabel, Shealtiel, Nevi, Melchi, Adi, Kosam, where are we? Kosam, Elamdam, Joshua, Eleazar, Joram, Matthat, Levi, Simeon, Judah. Of course, this is the New Testament biblical, one of the New Testament biblical genealogies. Joseph, Jonam, Eliakim, Malaya, Mena, Mattatha, Nathan. Of course, we know who Nathan is, right? David, Nathan, the son of David. Jesse, Obed, Boaz, Salah, Nashon, Aminadab, Admin, Arni, Hezron, Perez, Judah, Jacob, Isaac, Abraham, Terah, Nahor, Serug. This is the biblical genealogy that we're familiar with. Okay, Judah, Jacob, Isaac, Abraham, Terah, Nahor, Serug, Reu, Peleg. It's an important figure. Eber, Shelah, Canaan, Arpachshad, Shem, Noah, Lamech, Methuselah. Everyone knows Methuselah. Enoch, you should know Enoch too. Jared, Mahalalel, Canaan, Enos, Seth. Now the wise men that came from China, according to a leaflet or booklet that the Vatican had hidden in its archives, says that the wise men were the Magi, of course, where the word magic comes from, and they claimed descendancy from Seth. Seth, the son of Adam, the son of God. And of course, it actually says Adam, the son of God, and it actually says Jesus, the supposed son of Joseph, because Jesus is the Son of God the same way Adam is the Son of God. Of course, Adam is the first Adam and Jesus is the last Adam. Okay. Yes, you made up a genealogy of a person that didn't exist. Bravo. And you can tell he's out of it. Okay. So Brian Stevens says, question, you claim the first lineage you gave was from Jenny.com. Where does the second one come from? It says you have no idea how many written records you just dissed us, the Ben Green. You have no idea of how many written records that you just dissed. Okay, to Brian Stevens, I said, all of the records came from Jenny except for the last one that came from the Bible. Why? Do you care? And then Ben Green says there's a big difference between written record and made up story. On the other hand, you have no idea how many human remains have been found. These 6,000, older than 6,000 years old. That you dissed by pretending your genealogy theory can actually get you to Noah, let alone Adam. It's not a theory, it's actual historical records of real people that we are all descendants of. We're blood relatives, blood descendants from all these people. Okay. And then so I said to Ben Green, you don't know how long ago it was. He said 6,000 years, older than 6,000 years. And this is where he refused to come and debate me just now. He says, what? I don't know how long ago. What was? I know Homo sapiens have been around for tens of thousands of years. No, you don't know that. We can trace lineage back to a man and a woman that lived thousands of years apart. And most of all, I know that Joseph of Arimathea is a made up person, that not even the sources agree on who he was. No. So people are so confused. They have so many misconceptions. That's why we're here. Because they're so loaded with misconceptions that there's no possible way for them to understand anything because of how confused they are because of all the lies that they believe. So you got to take one thing at a time. That's why you have to bring them into a discussion so you can address one thing at a time. Knock that out of the way, address another thing, and knock that out of the way. Because they got so many misconceptions and they're just totally lost. Anyway, so first claims 10,000 years, you can't know that. Lineage back to Adam, a man and a woman, thousands of years apart. Actually, Noah and his three sons are, at least from the time of the flood, it was 1,656 years exactly between Adam, the birth or the creation of Adam, and the flood. 1,656 years exactly. So that is 1,000 years from Eve. And of course, the three wives are Eve, the mitochondrial DNA. So anyway, yeah, if you want to know the Y chromosome, I already did a thing on the Y chromosome and the mitochondrial DNA. And it shows that you can see who is who by what letter their Y chromosome is. A, B, C, D, and E is the descendants of Ham. If you know who Ham is the grandson of Noah by way of Ham is Mitzrayim, who founded Egypt, along with his mother, whose name was Egyptus, by the way. So the Hamites settled in Africa with the exception of C and D. C is the renowned Mongolians. D, believe it or not, is, and of course it's not every Mongolian and it's not every Japanese, but D is found in Japan and Tibet, and they're descendants of Ham. And of course they're found in Australia and New Zealand and throughout the islands there. And believe it or not, C, who was in Mongolia, went all the way to the New World. So I'm talking about the Y chromosome of Ham. The Y chromosome, in other words, a male descendant of a male descendant of a male descendant of Ham went through Mongolia to the New World, and he's found in the United States. And there's a lot you can learn from studying DNA. And he went, his descendants, of course, his Y chromosome went all the way through Central America into South America, and he's in the uppermost parts of South America. So one of the descendants of Ham and his descendants, male descendants, went all the way to the New World and all the way to the uppermost part of South America. And his Y chromosome can be found there today. So the rest of the story is that the female, the mtDNA, the African mtDNA female never left Africa, according to the testing. And as far as I could tell, there wasn't any C in Africa and there wasn't any D in Africa. So the C and the D, instead of going to Africa, went the other way without any African females. So the C went, of course, through Mongolia to the New World all the way to South America. And the C shows up also in the islands, so that the C also went to as far as New Zealand. And then the D, of course, is found in Japan and Tibet. And that's the Y chromosome of Ham. So then you have the Shemites, which is me, which is, it'd be A, B, C, D, E, F. So it'd be F, G, H, I, J. So the F, G, H, I, J is the Shemite Y chromosome. And the I and the J are very closely associated, so that, to me, this is going to be funny. The I stands for Israel, and the J stands for Judah. But that's not exactly correct, because the Y chromosome of Aaron, I think, is a J, and Aaron is not from the tribe of Judah. He's from the tribe of Levi. But anyway, it's close enough. But the I and the J are closely associated, and the I went all throughout Europe. That's why I say it's Israel, the Y chromosome of the rest of the tribes of Israel. So we have the I-1, you have the I-2, and they are the Vikings. They're the Vikings and the Anglo-Saxons that invaded Britain, and that's how my ancestors got to Scotland. My I-Y chromosome is from Scotland. You trace it all the way back to Scotland. And then from there it goes into Oblivion, because there's a whole big story of the Roman Catholic Church going to England and destroying all the records, so that their ancestors in England are basically mythological, just from mythological stories, because the Roman Church killed like, what was it, 800, 700, 800 some bishops of the Christian Church in England, founded by none other than Joseph of Arimathea in England. And they destroyed all the records, because the whole thing with the Holy Grail and everything, that was a claim to the descendancy of King Solomon by way of Anna of Arimathea, who's the daughter of Joseph of Arimathea, who's a descendant of Solomon. That's how that whole royal line thing in England is all about, with all the Holy Grail and who is more from the royal line than someone else. That's what that whole thing is about. It's who is descended from the king of England, or the king of, I guess it was Britain at the time, who reportedly married Anna of Arimathea, who is called Eugenesis or something like that, Eugenesis or something like that. And the descendants of Bran, whatever it is, and Anna of Arimathea are supposedly the royal line, and whoever is most royal is deserving to be King of England. And the Queen of England is supposedly not the legitimate line, but she's the Queen of England, and she's my 10th cousin. Exactly. So that means I can point to like 20 some blood relatives between me and the Queen, which is a long ways off, because it's like, is it 10 it's 10 generations back, so that's 1,000 grandparents. If you go back 10 generations, you have 1,000 grandparents, and any one of those 1,000 grandparents can be related to just about anybody. That's how genealogies work. That means, that's why Ken Ham's always saying we're all related, we're all brothers, we're all the same thing. So, okay, where am I now? That was a long rabbit trail. Would you like to discuss it in a live stream? And of course, I think he said no. If I refresh it, he said no. So that's that. Okay, and then there was another thread here, which basically was the same thing, I think. Of course, Adam and Noah existed. Where do you think we came from? Duh. That's me. Of course they existed. Where do you think we came from? Okay, so given numerous humans and other species, and anyway, so Noah, I'll read more. Okay, Noah was 4,500 years ago. That is highly doubtful. Okay. He's given a date here, I guess. Pre-exist. Oh yeah, plus other species of Homo that pre-existed both these alleged characters, especially Noah, who was 400 years ago. So I say, check and confirm your dates. The founder of Egypt is Noah's grandson. No calendar is more than 5,000 years old, unless you count the biblical history as a calendar. It goes back 6,000 years. DNA populations also confirm the three sons of Noah and their wives, just like I just explained. The Neanderthal Y chromosome is non-existent in today's human populations because they probably died in the Noah's flood. Now, there is this thing, whether or not a fossil or a set of bones or whatever is buried within the sediment layers, or was dug, where a grave was dug and they were deposited in the grave. Now, from what I understand, I'm always questioning whether Neanderthals are people that lived before the flood. I was always questioning that. I was also asking, are those people that lived before the flood because of their age and their body structure and their health and everything, or basically their strength and their intelligence and everything, which is greater than ours. You know, at least you know with comparing brain size. So I was always wondering that, and then I come to find out their Y chromosome is extinct. No one living today has their Y chromosome. No one today is descended from a Neanderthal. We have the autosomal DNA from Neanderthals, the Japhethites or the Shemites. I forget which one or both, or either one is Denisovan, the other one is Neanderthal or something like that. I forget. I got to go back and check for sure. but it's only like 5% or something at the most, 5 or 6%. And they're, of course, in the populations of the the Japhethites, or maybe the Shemites. But see what happens. The European populations have the Neanderthal DNA because they are I am I, but the European population is largely R, which is Japhethite. I is Semitic, R is Japhethite. So in the European population is a mixture of R and I and other things, of course. But so that's how the European population got the Neanderthal DNA, because they're a mixture of Japhethite and Shemite, basically. Okay, so are you suggesting that Neanderthals are not related to Adam and Eve? Why would I say that? Anyways, see, part of my actual genealogy, Margaret of Stewart. Okay, this is another genealogy. This is the different genealogy, by the way. So I got Margaret of Stewart, James of Scotland, Annabelle of Scotland. Of course, I'm halfway doxing myself because this is Scotland is the place of my Y chromosome. Anyway, no, I'm not really. I'm just kidding. You got, okay. Oh, these names get really funny here. You got Gok Up, Han. Okay, Alp is son of, and Han is daughter of. And so if you study genealogies, you can know all this stuff. And okay, Alp is Op too. Sometimes they have Op, AP. AP is son of. Han is daughter. Daughter? No, it's not daughter. But there's another one that's daughter. There's Op, and there is something else which is daughter. I don't know if I can find it here. But anyway, so this is my genealogy going where? Okay, it's going somewhere. Babylon, Egypt. Wow. Oh yeah. Oh, this is not a blood relationship. This is going through wife and husband and all this stuff. But this is just to show that there are records and genealogies from me in Scotland all the way to Patriarch Jacob, and then Joseph, vizier of Egypt, prophet. Wow. And then Manasseh. Okay, this is going here. Look at this. Jehoiakim through the kings of Israel, Zerubbabel, the kings of Israel, Of course, the genealogies of Israel also are connected to Zeus, because apparently Zeus had a lover or something from the tribe of Judah. But anyways, and Zeus, of course, was born like a couple hundred years after Abraham. So then there's Rehoboam, daughter. Look at this. Look at this. Where's it go? Uh-oh. Pharaoh of Egypt. Oh. Pharaoh of Egypt. Pharaoh of Egypt. Prince Abar of Cush. Look at this. Egypt. Okay, where's it go? Thebes, king of Thebes. Wow. Wow, look at all this. Priest of Ammon. Wow. This is impressive. Pharaoh Ramses, the fourth Pharaoh. Ramses the second Pharaoh. Look at this. Ramses the second, the great Pharaoh. Birth circa, whatever this is, 1304. And that's it. So this is showing the genealogy between me and Ramses, the great Pharaoh of Egypt. Just showing that there are records of all this time period, this whole time period between us and ancient history. There are records going all the way back, lots and lots and lots of records. So I said no to something. Please be more clear. They are related to Adam. They are not related to Adam. So I say Neanderthals and Denisovans existed before the flood. Oh, he wants to know about Neanderthals. Okay. So I said, what do you think? Are they from Adam or not? Okay, if I ask a question, I'm asking a question. This is why the shows like Atheist Experience hang up on you. Please just answer the question. No, I had a good conversation with the Atheist Experience. The only time I ever called the Atheist Experience, which wasn't Knucklehead. It was somebody else. Um, it wasn't Matt Dillahunty. It was somebody else. On the other hand, let's see. On the other hand, thread. Oh, where the genealogy no avail. So I say, you need to think for yourself. I'm not always around for you to be borrowing my mind. So that's where I got a kick out of it. But anyways, let me see how this goes. I don't even know what this is. I was asking to clarify. Okay. You never answer the questions. But just use your head a little bit. Think a little bit. Of course, the Neanderthals are descended from Adam. So I'm saying they lived before the flood. They didn't survive the flood. They didn't make it through the flood. That's why they're Neanderthals. That's why they're not related. They don't have a Y. They don't have anybody living today from their Y that has their Y chromosome. But Ham does. It went all the way through Mongolia and Americas, Central America, all the way to South America. But not. That's why you'll never see a Neanderthal to this very day, a Neanderthal Y chromosome. Okay, hey, it's a lot easier to have a live stream discussion. That can happen anytime if you would like. Okay, of course. Silence, crickets. Who's this? Somebody else. Jungle Jargon, will you please? Oh, I can't delete that. Okay. Jungle Jargon, what for? You preach and spread ignorance like a coward. Grow up. You're getting very boring over the years. I gotta see who this is. Over the years. Oh, we got 35 subscribers. No real content. Over the years, 35 subscribers. Okay. Anyways, Somebody doesn't want to show their face. Hey, come have a live discussion with me, Dave Dallafiore. Well, it has a name in it. Looks like a real name. So where are we at? I don't even know where I am. Okay. Adam Friended is going to have a debate. He's going to bring his lasers. Okay, so it's getting old. Yeah, the attacks from object credit givers gets old too, but I tolerate it for your sake. Okay, so you notice there's no content in what they say. All they do is do a ad hominem, text, and they don't actually ever say anything of substance because they don't ever have any actual substance to give or present. And all they do is ad hominem. What I got? Oh, I got my alarm. Oh, crazy alarm. Anyway, so I've been kind of ignoring the. What am I doing here? Let me go here. Oh, I got people here. Six an hour ago. We got Jesus is Lord. Shalom, saints of God. Yes, that was about 15 minutes ago. Ramat says, yeah, regarding the comment on modern day debate that you're back and forth on. Okay. Yep. Okay. That was the other one I read. Okay. So I guess that's about it. I just had, I'm just enjoying myself with these comments here. Apparently they don't like it too much. They want me to ask their silly questions, answer the silly questions, which if they spent a little bit of time thinking about, they should know because, do they really think that I think that Neanderthals are not descended from Noah? I mean, from Adam? Obviously not sons of Noah because their Y chromosome is extinct by coincidence. By coincidence or the fact that they didn't make it through the global flood. They drowned in the global flood. And then probably their bodies were found and reburied if in fact they weren't found in actual sediments deposited by the global flood, because sometimes they're found in graves, buried graves, and sometimes with modern men. So they could have been thrown in with a modern man, by modern men, or descendants of Noah. Of course, it's not that complicated. It's not as complicated as people would like to make it, but the fact is they aren't living today. So one way or another, we'll figure it out. And we aren't afraid of what the evidence is because the evidence always corroborates what the actual history is. And I just went through the actual history. That we have genealogies and historical records going back to Noah, going back to the three sons of Noah. Our Y chromosome is of the three sons of Noah. The mitochondrial is of the wives of the three sons of Noah. And of course, the mitochondrial comes from Eve, and the three sons come from Noah. And they were about 1,000 years apart, as a matter of fact. So there. So the evidence always confirms the actual history that we have. And we get a better picture and understanding of the way things are, And of course, the biblical record is the most accurate historical record in all of human history as verified by archaeological discoveries, of course, DNA, and of course, other written records, such as, different historians, including the Book of Enoch and the Book of Jasher, which are not biblical sources, which confirm the global flood, confirm a worldwide global flood, and Enoch even talks about the Son of Man, talks a lot about the Son of Man, says we're going to worship the Son of Man. So I don't know whatever the Book of Enoch is, I don't know, but it's disputed or whatever, but it does in fact talk a lot about the Son of Man, which leads me to believe that might be the reason why it's not in the canon of Scripture. Of course, the Book of Enoch has it goes from actual, what looks to be a believable record to utter nonsense. It's like it keeps adding the additions on to the Book of Enoch are kind of out there. But anyways, it's no big deal because the truth remains regardless of everything and anything and everything. Only your Maker can perfectly cover for you himself and remake you again by his Spirit, by his word from the inside out, as no one else can. And that is the absolute truth. Only your Maker can be your Savior. No one else can be. And with that, I'll see you some other time, maybe.